Yeah, this is Terry, W5TMP, and this is part 2 of the demystifying the DVAP and the Raspberry Pi. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of scared about this process, and you don't have to be. As I showed you in the last video, this is a Raspberry Pi. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's a $35 computer, has 2 USB ports, Ethernet jack, HDMI output, composite output, which is behind here, with an audio output, a memory card slot, and a 5-volt DC input. This is my DVAP. This is a 70 centimeters version, and I have one of each. I have 2 Pis with 2 DVAPs, and then very, very important, a powered USB hub. And in this particular one, I have the Nano Wi-Fi card, and for giggles, I have a Logitech wireless keyboard and mouse combination. That makes it a lot easier to use. So let's get started. Before we get started, there's 2 things you need to do. On this particular video, we're going to show you how to use the G4KLX Jonathan Naylor image from WesternDStar.co.uk, and I'm going to put a link down below, and also on my QRZ page at W5TMP, or QRZ with my call sign W5TMP, where you'll be able to see my current project with the Raspberry Pi and the DVAP, along with picture and everything I used inside the video, and the links to all that. You're going to need to download, when you get to WesternDStar, into the download section, you're going to need to do 2 things. You're going to need to download the Win32 disk imager. That allows you to put the image onto the SD card, because you can't just drag and drop. So you got to get that program. The image itself, which would be always the current one that's on there on the website, and you need to get somewhere, if you don't already have it, something that will handle .rar files, RAR files, and I suggest WinRAR, and you can just Google that, and I also have a link on my QRZ page. This image has already been started before, so it's not going to be exactly what you're going to see, but I'll go through what you're going to see as you start it up. So let me go ahead and plug it in, and as you see, things will come up here in just a second. It's going to take about 20-30 seconds at the most to come up. It shouldn't take that long. As you can, I don't know if you can't see it right this second, but there's the Raspberry Pi there. Let me get you a little better look. Hard to see here. There you go. Raspberry Pi and a DVAP. I guess you couldn't see any of that stuff earlier, huh? Okay.
Link to RCS001 Charlie.
And since I've already set it up before, it's already got all my basic information in it. And so let's go in there. Let's demystify this a little bit. Okay, the first thing is going to happen when you initially start up, it's going to boot into what's called RaspberryPi, which I'll go ahead and do now. Go into a terminal window here. Make it a little bit comfortable. I'm going to maximize that for you. I know it's hard to see, but you probably won't be able to see it, but I'll tell you what it's saying. You're going to type sudo, or you won't type this, but if you ever have to go back in it. RaspberryPi, and the first thing you want to do, there's a couple things. You want to go down to the one that says expand the file system, and so you're going to click on that. You're going to hit enter, and it's going to ask you if you want to use the complete, and you're going to say yes, and it's going to send you back to this menu. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your SSH, or actually go to the time zone first. Go down to change time zone, set that to wherever you're located, and it'll go back to this Raspberry menu, and you go down to one that says boot behavior. You're going to boot behavior and just tell yes you want to go to the desktop. Now be this, if you just hit yes, that's what the option means. And you're going to go down to the next one that says SSH, and you're going to hit enter. And then that's going to give you option enable or disable. You want to enable it if you ever want to do it from a remote. And then the last thing you do is you go down to one that says update, and you're going to go ahead and click update. Update allows you, it does a quick update, and then when it comes back up, it's going to look like this one. I've already done it on mine. So basically, you don't have to do anything else once you've done all that. You may want to do the update a couple of times just to make sure you have the newest version. And then you're going to down arrow and get over to finish and click OK, and then hit the enter key. So with that being said, we're going to minimize this. When you boot up, you're going to go ahead and reboot because you expanded the file system and changed stuff in the variables of the operating system. So just go ahead and reboot. So we'll go ahead and do that now, I guess, since and I'm just going to type reboot here. Sudo reboot. And now it's sending the signal out to reboot the system. So once you get that done, it's going to take another, it's going to take a little bit extra time, not much, because it's got to expand the file system if you got more than a 4 gig card in there. It shouldn't take more than another, 5 seconds more than it normally would. And it should be coming up here in just a second. And then you'll hear the radio as soon as it boots in and it starts up. I have it set to my DVAP frequency.
Link to REF001 Charlie.
Okay, and I just have it connected to 1 Charlie on this one, just because it's a fairly active reflector, and meet some interesting people there. So right now 2 windows pop up, and this is called the RARC DDB gateway, and then you have on this side is the DVAP node, which is the equivalent of the DVAP tool that Robin puts out. And then basically, let's go ahead and configure the DVAP node first. So you go to Edit, and then Preferences. There's only a couple things you need to change in here. You need to put your call sign, which would be, we're working with a club call sign here, but for experimental purposes. But you would put in your call sign in both fields, the call sign and the gateway. And if you have a 70 centimeter or 440 DVAP, you put B as the drop down window. Or if you have the 2 meter one, of course, you would put C. And the only thing I suggest is if you don't want to have what comes by default is right here where it says RPT1 validation. I just put that to off. Otherwise, you're going to have to put in your radio, the call signs and stuff. So I just put it to off, so it doesn't really matter. The next one that you're going to be interested in is, and I have mine beaconing every 10 minutes. So I just put in the message, it's KFI-QAR and the frequency that we use, voice enabled, and then whatever language you want to speak in. I have it on US English. So I just put every 10 minutes, it just pops up and says KFI-QAR, and then drops out. So it's just kind of nice to have that on there. Under announcement, I don't worry about it. You can put stuff in there and do different things, but I just have it disabled currently. And on DVAP is the most important tile or tab here. You should put whatever. It should already have the port filled out for you because it's already detected it. But then you're going to change your band, whether it's 2 meter or 70 centimeter. You're going to put that there. And then, of course, the big thing in there is put the frequency it's on. Mine's on 442,700. So in hertz, it's 442,700,000. So there should be a total of 8 characters to make it into hertz. So whatever your frequency is, add zeros to complete the hertz. I just leave it at full 10 milliamp or milliwatt. I just leave that by default, and then you hit OK. And it's going to come up and say these changes we made, but you have to reboot to make them take effect. So we're not going to worry about that right at that second. So go ahead and close that out. And if you got the newest version of the image from the website westernstar.co.uk, then it's going to be on the 523 version, which Jonathan's made a separate configuration program. So this we're going to go ahead and close this out here because we don't need it right this second. And then we're going to go to where normal Windows people would say the start button, and then we're going to go down to up to accessories and LX terminal. And at this point, it's real easy. You're going to type in, well, let me get it here. You're going to type in sudo ircdb gateway config, all one word, except for the sudo. So it's sudo space ircdb gateway config, and you're going to hit enter. And it's going to come up here with a little setup screen, and it's real easy to fill out. There's only a few things in here you have to change if you want to. So you don't really have to put much in there except for the call sign. So you put in here on this particular case it's KF5QAR. You put your call sign there. And I have this down here filled in with the latitude and longitude and stuff like that. Not necessarily have to be in there just to make it work. And under repeater 1, I have band B because it's a 77 meter. And then I have startup yes. Now you can make this no, and then as it boots, it won't connect automatically. But I want mine to go ahead and connect. And then by default, these reflectors will not be in here because we haven't finished another section here. But basically, you're going to have XRF 001 to the 50 or 901 there, and the DCS reflectors in there. That's the only thing that's going to be listed in there. You won't see any D+ reflectors yet. That's a little bit, another couple tabs here. But so basically, you pick whatever reflector you want, or X reflector, or DCS, and put it in there. Leave all the rest of it the same, just by default. And on this, the repeater 1 frequency, you're going to go ahead and put your frequency in there, and this time in megahertz, so you won't put those extra zeros in there. You just put that in there, and I just filled out the rest for giggles. You don't have to. All you have to literally do is just put the frequency in there, and that's not hard. And we're going to tab over, and there's going to be 4 of these repeaters, because you can use this as a regular gateway system instead of the ICOM G2 system. But so I just leave all the other ones just by default. And then when the IRC-DDB comes up, just leave it to the default unless you've already registered with IRC-DDB gateway with your repeater call sign or club call sign. If you haven't done that, then just leave this by default and just leave it like it is, whatever it is. And then DPRS, I again put my longitude and latitude in there. So I just enable it so it actually pops up on the APRS map when you go there. D extra, just leave it default. And then D plus comes up. Now this is where if you want to connect to the actual REF D plus side, you need to put in here. And by default it's disabled. So I'm going to enable it, and then I'm going to put in your registered D plus call sign, which will be your call sign currently. I have our club call sign in there, so we have that. And you're just going to put your normal, FCC registered call sign. And then, the next one, it says DCS CCS. That's one of the new things, a CCS. Both of them are enabled. If you're in the United States, you want to pick server as CCS 006. That's the US CCS reflector. So you want to change that to that. And then StarNet, I haven't got into. It's pretty neat technology, developed by some people out on the West Coast. Haven't got into that yet, but I'm trying. I'm learning. Remote, you just keep tabbing over, or arrowing over. To remote, I just leave the disabled. And then on the last one, on the last tab, is miscellaneous. And the only thing I change on here is I always enable DRATs, just in case some DRATs activity comes through. I leave it enabled. GUI, the only thing that's disabled on that is GUI log, and I changed the language up there to English. And once that's done, you're going to go ahead and file, then save, and then file exit. And of course, it's going to tell you that you need to reboot to make this go into effect. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to go back up, just hit the up arrow, and go back in the sudo config, the sudo IRC DDB gateway config. It's going to pop back up. Now this time, when we go to repeater 1, and you hit the little down arrow down here, now your reflectors are going to be in there. So now you can pick whatever reflector you want to put. I put reflector 01 Charlie, and start up yes. You don't ever want to put this down here where it says reconnect. Make that always say never. There's a reason for that, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a reason why you leave that to never. You click exit, save, and then exit, just like file save, file exit, and then you're just going to type reboot or sudo reboot. And it's going to go ahead and reboot the system. And again, the green light is flashing as it's rebooting. And as soon as it comes up in here, I got this set to my DVAP 70 centimeter frequency. And you should hear it in just a second. Screen booting. As you can see, windows are opening.
A while ago, so I guess you got him over.
And there you go. That's into CZQ on his dongle.
Do something a little more,
so it's connected to reflector 1 Charlie right now. And you'll see everything else is the same. Now you don't have to have the keyboard plugged in. You don't have to have the monitor plugged in. It's going to automatically disconnect to whatever you want to do. To whatever reflector. Or if you didn't want to. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to call sign. And I'm just going to go to, let's say, 4 Bravo. And I have to wait till they unkey, because you can't break in.
Unified School District Transportation Department for about 20 years now. And the wife works for a pharmaceutical company out here. She's a
as you can see,
pharmacologist.
the blue light and the red light, so it's indicating that it's getting a signal. Of course, he's going to be long-winded when we needed to do this. So basically, on the G4KLX version of this, it's very, very simple. You probably get up within 5 minutes to image on the file, on the card. Probably about 10 minutes if you have to do it from scratch, but to set up the IRC-DDB gateway and the DVAP node is very, very simple.
Sailing around the bay, maybe get some of my old neon longboards out. Go down there 2 to 3.
Of course, I had to have the
surfing in the small surf.
Where he's not doing short QSOs.
Ready for summer here.
Okay, now we're going to key up and let go.
When you get out there in that traffic, you need to have...
Okay, so now we're on 4 Bravo, and somebody was already there and talking, but it would have said link to 4 Bravo. And the nice thing about the DVAP, especially with the Raspberry Pi, I know you can do it without that, but the DVAP is you don't have to disconnect or unlink. You just go to your next whatever you want to go on to. Let's go on to let's put on X Reflector 38 Alpha. So we're just going to connect there.
Make it to XRF038 Alpha.
Okay, good. And let's go. If we want to go to DCS, we're going to go to DCS 006, which is the US for DCS.
Link to DCS006D.
So there you go. And then we want to go on to 30 Charlie, which is the Georgia reflector. I have it programmed on my radio here. We'll just kick it up, let go.
Well,
and there you go.
It doesn't drill any holes in the frame of your car, or, you know.
And I just have a different reflector set up into there, so it makes it pretty easy. So there we go. So this is basically, it's this. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me. It's just my call sign W5TMP at ARRL.net, ARRL.net, or you can go to this Tea Party, Tango Party, Tea Party, like you're having a party at gmail.com, and I have links on there down below, or you can also go to my QRZ page, QRZ.com, and my call sign W5TMP. I am using the Logitech K400 keyboard, touchpad, and keyboard. It's pretty small, lightweight, easy to use, so I just use that as for fun. And also can VNC into this system if you don't have a monitor. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad or something, you can VNC directly into the image there. So there we go. That's all I have, and thank you for watching. And hopefully I just demystified the how to connect the Raspberry Pi to the DVAP. Thank you for watching.